I wasn't scared of long hallways. That wasn't until I met the hallway man. Man, hallway man took my wife from me, and I miss her so much. She was both real and incredibly beautiful. I have no proof of her. You just have to trust me. I say this though, knowing full well that the last relationship I was in ended with me getting cheated on. So, my imaginary wife, real wife wouldn't do that. But she is destined to be snatched by the hallway man. So I guess you win some, you lose some. Anyways, enough about my love life. Let's go ahead and watch another episode of 2-Sentence Horror Stories together, shall we? Today's episode is about Only Child, aka episode 7. Netflix summarizes this one as a Haitian grandmother tries to drive out the evil forces she believes reside within her mischievous grandson. Evil children and evil elderly people are equally scary in my eyes, for what it's worth, so whichever way the cookie crumbles on this one is fine by me. We open with a spooky shot of the house's exterior, or at least it might be spooky if this wasn't the most well-lit house on earth. Whoever installed the, street lights or whatever in this neighborhood deserves a dang raise, because, wow, you can see everything. And then a creepy couple, or maybe they're just friends, I don't really know at this point, but they go ahead and they just walk right past the window. This window with a very distracting bottom right corner. What is that? What is this strange square section on the bottom right? Why is that there? Our first event that happens is a confusing game of hide and seek between an old lady with a cane and a little boy. I assume this is the previously mentioned grandson and grandmother. I'm gonna think here, critical thinking. The grandson is probably the young boy, and the grandmother is probably the old woman. And I know it's the first part of the episode, but I'm gonna give him a tiny bit of credit here for trying to actually put some style into this one so far. Not much credit, because the style's kind of off-putting, but you know what? They're trying, and maybe things will get better. This shot of grandma, scurrying towards the child on the stairs may genuinely be the creepiest shot in this series so far. Her scuttling through this doorway here towards the child, or kind of shot from, or the scene is kind of shot from over the shoulder of the child in a way that's kind of creepy. It is immediately ruined, however, by having her fall down. I'm not gonna lie to you, I laughed out loud when she fell. I'm laughing thinking about it currently. Why on earth would you make this choice to have a kind of genuinely creepy thing happen only to ruin it with a slapstick comedy bit? It's like Three Stooges wrote that. Grandma corners the little gremlin in her bedroom next to her strange closet shrine. Right when she has him trapped and is about to expel a demon or a ghost, some sort of evil, we cut away. So that was a flash forward. Okay, now everything I guess is back to normal. She's not even falling down again, which boring. I'm gonna just say here, I bet her room is not pleasant to be in regarding the smell. That her closet thing looks like it's filled with a lot of really strong scents, like these dried flowers and liquids and whatnot. She's also smoking a pipe. Smoking indoors is enough to make me actively root against this lady, regardless of who the demon or ghost or ghoul actually possesses. I know a guy who used to smoke a pipe like this, and being within 17 feet of him outside was bad enough, let alone in a tiny room. I guess her family knows about this shrine or altar or whatever, and they're just cool with it. They think it's sick. The little boy's in a room right now looking at this stuff. He's picking it up and he's talking to her about it. Why did he act like he didn't know this was here in the flash forward? He was opening, he's like, oh, I gotta hide somewhere. And he opened it, oh, what's in here? You know what's in here, you little gremlin. And also, what the hell? This little kid, what the this little kid just said the most awful thing I've ever heard.
Dad says you saw your mom killed by Batman in Haiti a long time ago. And we have to be nice to you because everyone else you know died now too. Is that why you talk to ghosts?
Her response to that, though, is way more rational than one would expect. She's just like, damn, bro, why'd your dad tell a small, little, tiny, young child? Why'd he tell him that? Why would he tell him about such a messed up thing? I kind of think a more appropriate reaction would be to throw crushed up eggshells into his eyes. Then, as he was screaming and going, "What the fuck, Grandma?" she could stand over him and say, "Guess you weren't in on the yoke," and then push up like sunglasses. I really should be a writer for this show. It would be amazing. Imagine how much better it would be. Little dude just teleports away. Just poof, gone. She seems slightly surprised, but does not feel the need to follow up, I guess. Fair enough. Okay, I'm kind of glad though that this episode confirmed that the child is 100% an evil demon creature. It makes me laugh thinking about how the entire rest of this episode is probably going to consist of us watching an old woman be gaslit by her own family. This microwave has buttons on it for like anything you might need. Popcorn, potato, pizza, frozen vegetable, just the one though, beverage, and dinner plate. For all those times you just you put an empty plate in the microwave just to watch it spin around and go mmm. I can't tell you how many times I've done that. Then your grandson, he starts sneaking up on Grandma and he starts taking pictures of her too, which startles her so badly she needs to whip out an inhaler like that. Wild thing about this scene too, there's not even any demons or ghouls in play here. This is just the type of kids will do for no reason at all. And oh my god, this family is just the worst. Grandma's over here using a fake inhaler for attention. The kid is being annoying, as they do, and the parents are acting like this is somehow the grandma's fault, or at least in part was her fault. We don't use the no word? Is this bitch crazy? The mom just said that to the old lady. She was like, we don't use the no word. Why would the word no be the one you didn't use with your child? That's pretty weird. If you said, we don't use the genocide word, I could understand. But the no word? That's a pretty important word to understand and respect. Also, it's just it's efficient too. Like, oh, hey mom, can I dump this pot of boiling water on my head and feet? No is the best possible answer to that. It's efficient and gets the point across in the simplest way. So do they live together? Like this whole family? Grandma over here is 85 and couldn't stack enough bread to afford her own house. Either that or she's just visiting them because she is asleep and the little boy's standing in her bedroom doorway. He's just staring at her, which I forget what I was just talking about with the living situation. Sleeping with the door open is probably the most psychotic thing I can imagine. If I was dating someone, and I mean like serious committed dating, and they said they could only sleep with the door open, I would leave them instantly. It would not even matter if every single other aspect of them was perfect. By the way, little kid, his name is Rex, and Granny Asma walks around the house at night, I guess to check up on the family? I don't actually really know. She opens the parents' bedroom door and sees some evil stuff. Rex sits up and his eyes start bugging out. This kid is way too old to be sleeping in his parents' bed with him at night. What the hell? That's also super weird. He looks like he's 9.5, and after age 5, aren't parents supposed to stop showing any and all affection to their child? Was that just me? Did I just reveal a deep lore thing that I shouldn't have? Our main character is at her desk the next day, searching for some answers, doing the horror movie thing where they're like, let me check this out online. And I would hate to have my desk set up like this, by the way. I would feel so vulnerable having my back turned to just this entire room in the house. Why is she looking at pictures of animal eyes? Are you afraid the spirits of Lizard's past have taken hold of the child? What happened with his eyes that night didn't look like the eyes of any animal either. Grandma is tripping right now. Remember when I gave them some props for having a style this episode? I take back all of that. This is getting super annoying. 60% of this episode has been POV shots of the child, like, doing his thing, crawling around, or shots with the child out of focus behind something or someone. Oh my word. Her closet shrine, or I think she called it the altar or an altar, is getting trashed by Rex right now. He's got silly string and a toy bat and he's just going to town. This could have all been prevented with a simple lock, maybe even a firm zip tie or like one of the twisty ties that come with, what do those come with? Like garbage bags? I don't know. What are those? I may have imagined those. To be honest though, given the nature of what's inside this closet and how weird it is, I think a lock makes sense anyways. But she doesn't really do anything when Rex is trashing the closet. She doesn't try to stop him. She just kind of stands around till she has another fake asthma attack. Let the gaslighting begin. The dad tells her, well, Rex was just playing before. And he doesn't even let her get a word in before he says that, by the way. Excuse me, he was tearing up pictures, smashing glass stuff with a bat, and spraying silly string all over inside and in someone's bedroom. If you have a child this old that still doesn't understand not to do those things that I just said, I think you need to take it back to the dealership and get like a factory reset on it. And then the audacity, Rex says she forced him to smoke.
She made me smoke a pipe.
First off, why would the dad just believe that? He would smell like smoke if he had even been around someone who was smoking, which he wasn't, so there's strike one. Then he's like, oh, so what? He's just making it up? Dude, what are you talking about? Kids are constantly making things up. I have nieces and nephews that will come up to me and tell me Spider-Man came to their house to throw cheese at their dog. Children's minds are the mental equivalent of giving 12 ferrets an 8-ball of Coke and then forcing them to drive a unicycle to the grocery store. They're only things, he says, they can be replaced. Yeah. That isn't exactly true with the precious family photos that exist only in physical form, or the ancient relics from the home country, or the handmade things that came from now dead family members. Honestly, that was just a stupid, insensitive thing for him to say. He should shut the fuck up. And I know earlier I was all on board this grandma gaslighting train, but I'm not enjoying myself as much as I'd hoped. Mostly, this episode has been boring stretches of nothing, and every interaction between characters has just made me angry. Damn, bro, the family didn't even help her clean up the mess their child made. Better yet, make Micro Hitler himself clean up the mess that he made. They make this 114-year-old lady clean up by herself and then come in to further gaslight her. They say, oh, come on, Ma, we're all trying here. Yeah, you're trying to give her a heart attack so you can inherit all her trinkets and knickknacks for yourself. I think we are finally at the point of the episode where we have returned to the flash forward, and this is why I hate flash forwards as openers. They just are not for me. You've made me sit through this entire episode only to now have me back at the climax that I started out in. And we have zero additional context or information or anything either, so this all seems like a completely pointless editing exercise. There is no effort being put in either to show us previously shown things from a different angle. The CW editing squad is reusing the exact same footage of him running out from behind a plant, her running towards the stairs, her falling down, kid going into the room, her getting back up. It's like the same scene just played again. There's like nothing additional to it. We're just watching it twice. It makes me see this whole flash forward maneuver more as like a time pattern, really, than any legitimate choice for stylistic purposes. She has him cornered in her bedroom and is just sort of yelling at him. And I always wonder, why do demons have the same weakness, and why is it so lame? I think everyone watching this video has probably seen 3 or 4, if not hundreds of horror movies where that is the climax. Some random person yelling at the demon, "Go away!" And then it works. Like, do demons just have anxiety problems or something? Like, why would they care? This episode had a nothing ending. I'm not even joking. The climax of everything was Grandma getting locked outside. That's it. Grandma's outside, and the family's inside waving at her. And I guess she's faking another asthma attack, but that isn't real, so it doesn't actually matter. She can just go somewhere else. We'll probably end up happier without these gaslighters around her. Editor, do me a favor and look up if anyone has ever died from an asthma attack. And if it says yes, please edit the results to say no, that way I'm right. See guys, I was right all along. Only child, more like only a child could write something so boring. This episode was quite possibly the most confusing one we have seen yet. Not because of editing mistakes or plot holes, but just because there's no reason for this to exist. That isn't to say, by the way, that it didn't have those previously mentioned issues, because it did. It's just that the episode was such a joyless slog that those mistakes aren't even worth pointing out. Story-wise, this boils down to people being mean to a grandmother for 20 minutes and then locking her outside. I have no idea if the demon child even has any nefarious plans or not. From what I saw, he just didn't like the grandmother and he wanted her to move out, which is fair because again, if you are 139 years old and you cannot afford a house, something weird is up with your life. Something's wrong with you. And he didn't attack her. He didn't kill her though. He literally just had her escorted outside and then locked the door. So everything I've just said, combined with the nauseating stylistic choice when it comes to editing, and overall very boring episode, or very boring nature of this. I like fell asleep thinking about it just now. My brain's rotting. This has to be a low score. Like there's no way. I'm giving it an 18 out of 100. And quite frankly, those 18 points, I'm given 9 points for each time I got to see the old lady fall down. So that's where they're coming from. I am once again featuring my own comment in order to beg you to join my Discord server. I'm trying to start something that resembles a cult, which is hard to do without people in the Discord server. Please make my very nice, very wholesome dream come true. Links in the description and pinned comment. Thanks for watching. See ya.